This is America. We speak English here. This is how I got revenge on a stupid racist lady who basically ruined my whole school life. I was a freshman in high school. After school, on most weekdays I would walk to my uncle's house to babysit my little cousin. My cousin was about 2 or 3 years old at the time and liked to go to the public park that was directly in front of my uncle's house. It was a simple park, about the size of a football field with a playground in one corner and the rest being all grass. One particular day my cousin is begging me to go to the park, so I take him. For a while we were the only ones there. My cousin was too scared to go down the slide from the top by himself, so I was picking him up and letting him slide from about halfway. He was having a great time and laughing. Soon a lady comes up with her daughter and they start playing on the swing set. Well, the lady was sitting on the bench and her daughter was trying to play on the swing set. Now here's an important point to the story. When I speak with my little cousin, I speak in our native language. He can understand English, but I'm just so used to speaking my native language with my family that it just happens naturally. So I'm speaking to my cousin, trying to encourage him to go up to the top of the slide, and he's on his way up, psyching himself up. Then I hear the lady yell out, "Lady, hey, you need to speak English when you're around me." Me, huh? Are you talking to me? I'm just telling him to. She cut me off. This is America, we speak English here. Me, I'm just trying to play with my cousin, he doesn't speak English too well. Lady, I don't care. You speak English when you're around me and my daughter. So I'm pissed off. I've had my experience with racism. I'm Indian, but I look very Arab and got harassed a lot after 9/11. This, however, was different. I'm just here with a child, and he was visibly having an awesome time playing at the playground. There was no reason for this lady to impose her BS on me. So I decided, fuck it, if she wants me to speak English here, have it. So I say to my cousin, "Hey, let's ignore the bitch," and continue to speak in my native language to tell him to slide down. Her, what did you just call me? Me, oh, I just called you what you are, a bitch. Her, oh my god, do you know who I am? I'm calling my husband, he's gonna kick your ass. At this point, I feel the need to try and get out of there, so I start telling my cousin let's go. While I'm trying to leave, she keeps yelling and screaming at me about how her husband is on her way, and he's gonna kick my ass. And even says she's gonna call the cops because she thinks I'm a pedophile and questioning whose kid am I with. Anyway, I leave and get home. I was paranoid for a few months after that incident. Because the crazy lady was actually pressed pedophilia charges against me, the cops came to talk to me, and my whole family was mortified. Nothing happened of course, since I was able to prove that that was my cousin. But I still had to go through a lot of process. And that gave me a really bad reputation at school too, since rumors spread really fast. A lot of people started distancing me and giving me side eyes. The rumors never ended, so I was stuck with it until graduation. She basically ruined my whole school life. Now the revenge part, we're in the present, and it's been over 10 years. I graduated high school and got a job at this plant. The thing about this plant is that it's one of the few places in my city that pays well over minimum wage. A lot of the people in my city try super hard to get into this plant, but few do. Most people end up moving out of my city or commuting over an hour where all the good jobs are at. Another important note, through a series of promotions I got, due to actually having computer skills and being at the right place at the right time, I ended up becoming the second biggest manager at the plant. One of my job responsibilities is hiring people and making sure they get trained properly. A couple of weeks ago we had to let go of one of our office ladies. So I called up the placement agency I use and let them know I need an office administrator type person on Monday. Monday comes around, and guess who shows up? It's the racist lady from the park. She doesn't recognize me, but be assured I recognize that bitch. Her face is ingrained into my brain. I go through the typical introductions and pass her off to HR for a bit to make sure she fills out some paperwork. I pass her off to the ladies in the office and let them start training her. That's most of my interaction with her. I pop by the office throughout the week to see how she was doing and get any updates on her performance. I start to think about what I'm going to do. Is it even worth taking any revenge? I finally made my decision on Thursday. I decided I'm going to lead her on and make it seem like she was going to be staying with the company and then let her go unexpectedly. So on Thursday, I set up an appointment with her to finish up some training. I just had a PowerPoint presentation I went over with new employees. In the training, I get to talk to her a little more and ask her if she's been living in the city for a while. She says yes, and I ask her what part? She mentioned she lives near the park near my uncle's house. I let her know, oh, I used to go to that park all the time. I used to take my little cousin, but I stopped because I ran into this racist lady one day who threatened to have her husband beat me up and reported me to the police as a pedophile because she wanted me to speak English. Her face changed. Her face went from kinda happy to straight scared. I think she finally remembered me. I concluded the training and didn't say anything else. Friday came, and she showed up to work. When she went to lunch, I called the placement agency and told them to call her and let her know not to show up. After lunch, we won't be needing her anymore. Most satisfying phone call I've made in my life.